If your one shoulder top never fits properly, this drawstring method will fix it instantly. Let me show you step by step.
The first thing to do is to take your vertical measurement. So here I'll take my waist measurement, which is 16 inches, my bust point 9.5. This is the bust point, the waistline. So after getting that, from your waistline you come down by 10 inches. You can make it longer than that if you want. So go down by 10 inches. Then go ahead and connect it this way. So now this serves as a blouse length. I'll move over here at the starting line. I'll go ahead and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I have 7.5. At that point, I'll come down by 1 inch. So for the neckline, I'll be going in by 3 inches. Then I'll come down also by 3 inches. Then I'll go ahead and just use my hand to connect it like so. Then I'll connect this here to the shoulder slope. Then the next thing we're going to do now is to get our chest line. So this is gotten by dividing your bust measurement by 6, and whatever you have, go ahead and add 1.5 to that measurement. So after that, go ahead and connect. Then at that chest line, remember this is the chest line, then we go in by our shoulder measurement at that point. This is just to take a straight line, so you'll be able to curve your armhole. So the next thing now is to find the midpoint of that line, which is 3.5. So at that 3.5, I'll come in by ½ inch. Then I'll come to the chest line. I'll mark quarter of the bust measurement, which is 8 1/4. This is just so we can curve the armhole. So I'll just use my hand and connect it like so. So you see what I have there? Now, if you have your curve rule, you can go ahead and use that to connect. So I'll come here and mark quarter of my bust measurement, just like I have here. So I'll be adding 1 inch for sewing allowance. I'll also put that down here at the chest line. Then I'll move over to the waistline. I'll mark my waist measurement divided by 4. I'll put it down there. Then I'll add 1 inch for sewing allowance. I'll move over to the hip line, which is also a blouse length. I'll be marking my hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. After that, I'll just go in and connect this way. So there's no dart in this top. So you see what I have there. After that, the next thing we're going to do now is to go ahead and cut this pattern out. This pattern is for the back and also for the front. So you're going to use this same pattern to cut the back pattern. Open the pattern paper up this way. Determine where you want the shoulder to be off, where you want your one shoulder to be. So you can do it on the right side or on the left side. Come down here by 4 inches. You can do 5 inches. It depends on how low you want it to be. So after that, I'll just come like this and connect it. So just go ahead and adjust it to what suits you. So you can see I marked 4 inches, but now I'm adjusting it below that 4 inches. So just go ahead and adjust it to what you feel comfortable with. So after that, I'll move over to this one. Remember, this is our waistline. So at this waistline, I'll be coming down by 5 inches. You can do 4 inches, it just depends. But I'll be coming down by 5 inches at this point. Now after that, I'll just connect it from that end. From these 5 inches, I came down by to the end of this blouse. So I'll just go ahead and use my hand to connect it like so. So you see what I have here. If you have your curve rule or your ruler, you can go ahead and use it. So that is what I have. I hope you guys can see. The next thing now is to cut this pattern out. Go ahead and cut the strap we have on the side. How long you want it to be, and the wideness can be about 1 inch wide. Then just go ahead and fold it this way, and also fold it this way. So I'm just using this pattern paper to demonstrate. You fold it this way, then go ahead and stitch it down. You're going to place this pattern the way it is like this. You're going to place it and cut the back pattern. So the back pattern is going to be exactly like this. And when you're cutting the back pattern, you don't need to fold your fabric into 2. You open up your fabric just like this pattern is. Then you place this pattern on it and trace what you have here out. So after you've done that, just go ahead and sew in your 1 inch on the side. After sewing it in, you go ahead and fold it in to create a channel for your string to pass through. So this is where the string is going to be. I hope you guys can see. So this is where the string is going to be. So this is how it's going to look like. Then on this side, on this longer side, you just go ahead and also sew your 1 inch. The 1 inch you added, just like you did on the other side. So you go ahead and sew it. Then on your waistline, on this waistline, you will come down by like 4 inches. It has a slit on this side, so you come down by, you sew your 1 inch and stop it by like 4 inches after your waistline. So here will be open. Then just go ahead and fold each side of the opening inside, so you have a neat finishing at that point. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to explain. So this is what we have for this upper part. Then the next thing we're going to do now is to go ahead and cut the sleeve pattern. I'll come here and mark ½ inch for the starting line, and which will also serve as the sewing allowance. That is to join the sleeve to the top. So this is going to serve as a sewing allowance. So at that point, I'll come down by 4 inches for my sleeve cap. To get this measurement, divide your bust measurements by 12. Whatever it gives you, add 0.5 to that. then I'll connect it into a straight line this way. The next thing I'm going to do now, I'll still place my taper on that line, then I'll mark my elbow points. So go ahead and place your tape roll from your shoulder down to your elbow. So whatever you have, that's your elbow line. Then my sleeve length is 23 inches, but this pattern paper is not long enough. So when I'm cutting on the main fabric, I will extend the length of my sleeve. But for now, I'll be maintaining the length I have here on this pattern paper. So I'll move over here. This is my sleeve curve, and this is my elbow. So this is the elbow line. I'll come over here and mark my round sleeve measurements. Then on the elbow, I'll be marking my elbow measurement. Then I'll just come over here from the tip of this pattern paper. I'll just go ahead and connect it. But before that, I'll add my sewing allowance of 1 inch. I'll come over here. So when you're measuring your elbow, your round elbow, make sure it's not tight. So I'll just go ahead and connect this. Sorry, my marker is not showing properly, so I'll just connect this way. And from that point, I'll connect it. Go ahead and measure how wide you want the down part of your sleeve to be, but for mine, I'll just maintain the wideness of this pattern paper. So I'll connect it like so. This is what I have for the sleeve pattern. The next thing to do now is to cut it out. This is what our sleeve looks like. So we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more detailed pattern drafting tutorials. I'll see you in the next one.